think the big trends we're seeing right now is agencies working on a couple of different things. One has to do with the governance of mobile. So when we started talking a couple of years ago, there really was, there was a lot of almost skunk works and a lot of innovation that was going on in the mobile space. Now agencies are actually really bought into the importance of mobile, and so they're really taking a look at how do you make sure you brand the applications well, and what's your strategy in terms of providing those levels of services. So I think that's one big trend. The other trend has to do with the problem that we've been seeing overall, having to do with the continued diversity of different devices. And so we're seeing agencies looking for kind of a build once, deploy many option, and a lot of agencies are really focusing right now on mobile web. I think the big driver for mobile has been the digital strategy, and that's actually was started, it was announced on May the 23rd. And part of the digital strategy was each agency had to create 2 mobile products and 2 APIs. And the APIs, the application programming interfaces, are important because many mobile products are being driven off of those web services. But what we're seeing is that every agency is getting their feet wet in this space, and so as they have that experience, they're really taking a look at that broader spectrum of how they're going to be delivering services. The other area, and this is an area that I'm not working in so much, really has to do with the mobile workforce. And that's really a little bit outside of my lane, but I think that that's the other big trend that we're seeing in government is really how do we accommodate the mobile worker. The big takeaway we've had over the past couple of years is that we really were focusing on devices. And as I was talking about the data layer, it's really getting beyond, and the digital strategy calls for being device agnostic. And device agnostic doesn't mean that you don't build for specific devices. It means that the information or the services are available on any device, anytime, anywhere. And so I think that the big lesson that we have learned is that we really need to start looking upstream in the development. So the application or the mobile website is the final product, but we need to start moving upstream to say, how are those web services built, and then how is the infrastructure set up in terms of our data sets and the availability of that information. I think the challenge that we're seeing in a lot of organizations is that they're having a hard time understanding what an API is or how it's going to be useful. So we've been actually working on creating analogies to help folks do that. I mean, in the IT sector, it's really an API is a web service. And so if an agency is running web services, they're doing that. It's machine-to-machine discussion, and I think that that's really the important part of it. Moving forward, though, we're really seeing, I think, a critical step was that the census this last year had developed and published an API for census data. And I think that really has made people see the power of APIs because they actually created a couple of different applications from it, but then they're working with different organizations to have other applications created. The other thing that was really critical about the Census API, though, is that it does not just include census data. There's also data from other agencies, including the Department of Labor. So they actually were able to mash this information up and then provide the app. So we're really seeing those demonstration projects helping to create the bridge for people to see the power of them.